Like sun, while Talia was focusing on strength. While Talia had been busy feeding Gorgu, her stepbrother Tristan had been pursuing his own plans.
The time is almost here. The Gauntlet of Finitude is reunited, and the absolute evil destroyed. Now I can pursue my second objective.
Tristan, hey, you're not quite up to speed. The absolute evil is back. It's in this little nipper here now, and when it's gathered enough power, it's gonna wipe the floor with you and your henchmen.
That's good to know, stepsister. Men, that cannot be allowed to happen. Wipe out the dungeon and make sure I'm not disturbed.
What? Wait a minute, I'm not even ready yet. Treachery, fraud, cheater. Go get them, Gorgu! Smash them! Stop them! Pull out their nose hair!
Effortlessly, Dungeon Lord Gorgu set about fending off the attacking heroes. Now, in a comic book, you might imagine copious speech bubbles at this point containing expressions like crash, pow, bam, and the like.
That was fun. But I think we need to replenish some evilness for Gorgu before the next round starts. Time to build a dungeon and crush Tristan's plan to dust.
With those impressive words, Talia set about building a dungeon to stop her stepbrother Tristan from doing whatever it was he was doing. Would she manage to do so? Probably not. After all, this was only Mission 9, but it kept things exciting.
Don't get ahead of yourself. The rest of the missions will probably only deal with our extravagant victory celebration. Forward!
The planning far ahead evil set about raising an army that would thwart Tristan's as yet unknown plans.
With the help... It's brilliant tactician Talia, of course. I'm here to chew gum and kick ass, and I'm out of gum right now. Oh, wait, no, there's still some in my bag. Now that's the taste of victory.
These taglines, I use philosophy for those. Your little snots have roused some lava lumps. payday. You have lost a creature forever. The surface-storming evil had alarmed the local heroes even sooner than expected. Of course, it had expected this and was not caught off guard by any attacking heroes.
Make me proud, and then die. Forward!
Talia, turn your back on evil. I promise. I'll make sure you get a fair trial, too.
You have nothing at all to say here, stepbrother. Don't you know that in the Dungeons series, evil always triumphs? Prepare to meet your doom. Ha 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 ha! Ha ha!
Evilness in Gorgu's eyes faded. His fleeting time as Dungeon Lord was over, at least for the time being. The hesitant Evil's army approached a massively fortified hero city. The use of the power of the absolute evil seemed extremely promising here.
I and the Gauntlet of Finitude fuse into one.
Payday! Creatures are collecting their pay. Once again, Gorgu transformed into the mighty Dungeon Lord. Your gold vein is nearly exhausted. Talia and the destructive evil had effortlessly removed the first bulwark in their way on their path to Tristan.
And that was just the start. I'm just getting warmed up. Tick-tock, little brother. This time, it won't just be your school bag I'll break.
Ugh! Talia! Why do you have to be such an annoying pain? I will use powerful portal magic and transport heroes directly into the dungeon!
Hey, that's unfair, nasty, poor game design. Go, creatures! Get ready to defend! Sharpen the traps. Keep your ears perked. Keep a lookout.
The Dungeon Lord turned back into Gorgu, the unremarkable baby. Enemies have entered the dungeon. Your army has just decreased in size due to death.
payday.
I must continue to focus on this men. Keep Talia away.
A gold vein has been mined out. You have unearthed a new area in the dungeon. The good being killing evil's armies had discovered a crystal beam. Once again, the Dungeon Lord emerged from Gorgu's babyish husk. A golden portal opened in the dungeon. Heroes would burst out of it. The blind-sided evil needed to act. Talia and the devastating evil had more destructive power than the average Black Friday shopper. The heroes would have to think of something.
We are unstoppable! Choo-choo! The Talia bitch slap train is on its way. Next stop, Tristan's face. Choo-choo!
A hammering and thumping filled the dungeon.
Damn. Are those dwarves again? Ugh, those beasts just never give up, do they? All right, creatures, prepare your defenses. Protect the dungeon. Protect me.
Gorgu's time as Dungeon Lord was over. One of your creatures has died. The dungeon heart is being attacked. okay? Your army has just decreased in size due to death. A new area has been unearthed in the dungeon.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Golden portals opened in the dungeon.
Men, stop Talia before she can interrupt my ritual.
Yoo-hoo! Tristan, favorite stepbrother. We should bury the hatchet and talk everything out. The best thing to do is just come over to me and my army without any weapons and armor, and then we'll talk.
Talia, that trick may have worked back in our epic snowball fight, but not today!
A gold vein is almost exhausted. portals opened in the dungeon. Payday! Once again, Gorgu transformed into the mighty Dungeon Lord. Your enemies are in the dungeon. Talia and the annihilating evil left a trail of devastation behind them that had heavy metal concert-goers enthusiastically taking notes.
When I'm done with these heroes here, they won't have any sleeves left. Or maybe still sleeves, but no arms. Oh, okay, even I found that line pretty second-rate, but never mind. Time to die, do-gooders.
The Dungeon Lord turned back into Gorgu, the unremarkable baby. Your little snots have completely mined out a gold vein.
I just need a tiny bit longer here.
It's payday.
Once again, the Dungeon Lord emerged from Gorgu's babyish husk. When Talia and the armies of the merciless evil entered Condor, the city of heroes, it triggered an alarm. Condor is calling for help, but the fortress Horan had already been destroyed and there was no one to answer. The time had come. Talia and the absolute evil, or its armies, had finally reached Tristan.
Tristan! Finally, we stand face to face. Time to end this storyline and leave my painful childhood behind me.
Your painful childhood? Did you have a big sister who often mistreated you too?
I was mistreated, so it was only right that some of it came your way too. And anyway, we're siblings. But we don't need to get into that. Your plan has failed, whatever you were going to do here. Surrender, and I'll let you live and parade you around in a cage.
My plan didn't fail. Behold!
Tristan had achieved his goal and used the gauntlet's power. However, unlike Talia, he did not snap, but instead did a reverse snap. Instead of releasing horrific forces like the so-called Dungeon Lord Snap, this in fact did the opposite. Healing forces swept over the land. Heroes who had once been slain were suddenly alive again. Likewise, Tenos, Talia's and Tristan's foster father. While Tristan was overjoyed at the return of his beloved father, Talia's joy was considerably more limited, and the old rage bubbled up inside her once again. The heroes, on the other hand, were of course in a celebratory mood. A great reunion feast was arranged. The Cathedral of Light, Tanos, had returned. He celebrated his brilliant rebirth exuberantly and licentiously in the great Cathedral of Light. But Talia was not yet defeated and swore Thanos was once again among the living. Should one have seen this coming? Well, presumably, because with a name like that, it was probably inevitable that he would pop up again. In honor of Thanos and all the other people who had been resurrected, a great feast was proclaimed in the Cathedral of Light.
How do you feel, Father? Are you well?
Of course, son. Ha! How could I not be well now that I am finally back among the living? I am so eternally grateful to you, my boy. Let's celebrate together with our victory over darkness.
So be it, Father. I have ordered one of my strongest warriors to guard the impregnable gates to the city. Nothing will come through them to disturb our celebrations. Go forth, Hordor. Show us what you can do.
Hordor! Hordor!
My idiot brother has gone and resurrected our even more idiotic foster father and, just for fun, all the heroes I killed in the previous part. Oh, well, at least now there's something to do. Forward, orcs! Time to blow up that party!
But the absolute evil's creatures were unable to take these gates. Probably not even a dragon mother or a mother of dragons would have been able to tear them down.
Total bummer, namby-pamby little pack of orcs. But hey, fine. I'll just find some other way to blow up that party.
After all the time Talia had spent talking about blowing up, it was inevitable that she would be hit by a flash of inspiration. Beneath the Cathedral of Light, there was an ancient, long-forgotten cellar. If this were filled with explosive material, it would probably lead to a dynamite buzz for the partygoers.
Everyone stop. I just had a flash of inspiration. If we stack some blaze beer under the cathedral, we can blow the damn place up along with Thanos. I am so brilliant. Forward, little snots. Gather hops and malt, and let's get this party started.
The inebriated evil set about building a brewery complete with brewing kettle, an important step on the way to brewing blaze beer. dong! It's payday! The celebrations were in full swing. Tanos, the good paladin of light, however, wanted to give this joyous celebration a more personal touch.
Friends, brothers, comrades, it's good to have you by my side again. My beloved son Tristan saved us all. I have had some of these hideous horde monstrosities captured in his honor. Tristan, to you belongs the honor of bringing the purifying fire upon them.
Father, does that really need to be done? I think we could...
Oh, son, you are so humble. I'll just spring in and take over for a minute. This is for you, son. Enjoy the show!
Looks like those two have found each other again. Tanos is still the same dumbass he was when I put his head on his spear. And that's where he should have stayed. But Tristan, the miserable idiot, at least they have no idea of the favor they've done me here. Okay, little snots, get to work.
Dead Horde creatures could easily be resurrected at a Defibrimat in a Horde laboratory. Fortunately, the supposedly dead creature was mysteriously returned to the dungeon, where some little snots picked it up to carry it to the Horde laboratory.
Talia? Do you always have to disrupt my parties? It's like that time on my 14th birthday, when you dumped that bucket of pig's blood over my head. Men, drive that rabble off! I don't want my father to be disturbed!
Oh, yes, that's right. The red birthday. Oh, those were the days.
Talia's activities in the underground had not gone unnoticed. Heroes set out to destroy the dungeon. The first Horde creature had been resurrected as a Defibrimat in the Horde laboratory.
Excellent. Welcome back. I just happen to have a jolly little suicide mission for you.
A special Naga appeared to have been captured by Tristan's henchmen and was being paraded through the city as part of the festivities. If the gracious evil were to free her, she would certainly join him most joyfully.
What a pathetic creature. Go on, get moving, mother of madness.
Man, these heroes, they die faster than flies.
Talia! That's just barbaric! Stop it! We are having a party here!
Back among the living. Can you even begin to imagine lying there dead forever, just waiting to be resurrected?
Weren't you in the Hall of the Goddess, Father?
I can't exactly remember, but it was very, very warm where I was. I think that was the goddess's burning light.
Ding dong, it's payday.
There go the people of Martel. So much for sun spears and cheap plastic toys.
Another dead creature has been resurrected in the Horde laboratory.
I wish I hadn't purified that one bard, the one with the gold and the wizard.
Talia, what are you doing?
I'm freeing this Naga shaman. What do you think? That I was gonna let Thanos chase her around?
Well, maybe it is better this way. Father just gets so upset. But I'm not doing this for you, stepsister.
The Naga shaman, out of gratitude for her liberation, joyfully joined the slithering evil's army. she still had some scores to settle with the local heroes.
Ah, I see that you caught a few of these vile creatures and put them on display, my son. Wonderful.
Well, actually, they're just prisoners of war at the moment, Father.
Things such as prisoners of war can only exist among rational beings, son. The only thing you can do for these creatures is to give them a quick death. But that can wait until after the feast.
Like how? I'll free them and add them to my army. Go ahead. Go on out there. Release the cages and smash those creatures to bits. The other way round, of course.
Ha! It's time to purify another one of those heretical monstrosities with holy fire. This one is yours, Tristan, my beloved son.
Thank you, Father. Even if I would prefer to forego the honor.
Payday. Don't be too modest. Huh? Enjoy the show, and then we'll part.
Fortunately, the Frankensteinian evil was now able to use the Horde laboratory to revive its Horde creatures.
Celebrate, my friends! Celebrate as long as you can! For the night is dark and full of ticks. Slugs? Oh, I don't know.
A ghost hunting group by the name of Shooby-Doo was on their way to the festivities along with their mysterious machine.
Then let's see those mysterious figures disappear somewhere in the ghostly mists.
Talia had freed an ironhide orc. These strong and fantastically armored creatures were virtually tanks on two legs.
Disgusting smell of salt in my nose. Is there a subway here?
The decaying evil's little snots couldn't keep up with reviving creatures in the Horde laboratory. Maybe it was time to set up a second defibrillator.
You got that right. Phew. You could hardly stand it. It smells like a locker room after a workout. Welcome back, creature of the Horde. Talia cares about you and has made sure you were resurrected. Now, get back to the front, maggot.
Ah, Scooby-Doo and his mysterious machine, isn't it? Glad to see you all here.
I was gonna kill them all, and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids and their dog.
I can feel it in my bones. Winter nears. But a nice little holy fire and a few heretics to burn will fix that.
So, do you remember anything else from back then?
So the last thing I remember is Thanos killing me.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. Payday! Creatures are collecting their pay.
Celebrate, my friends! Celebrate as long as you can! For the night is dark and full of ticks. Or slugs. Oh, I don't know, but evil never sleeps!
Enemies are in the dungeon. In keeping with it,
It's time to purify. Another one of those heretical monstrosities with holy fire. This one is yours, Tristan, my beloved son.
Thank you, Father. Even if I would prefer to forego the honor.
Don't be too modest. Enjoy the show, and then we'll party on.
fortunately, the Frankensteinian evil was now able to use the Horde laboratory to revive its Horde creatures.
Your throne room is under attack.
Stop killing heroes!
But I'm on such a roll right now.
I'll just resurrect you anyway. So there's no point anyway.
Well, it's definitely had a very positive effect on my mood.
another powerful wizard named Switcher set out for Tanis's celebration with his followers.
But he'll never arrive.
Feel it in my bones. Winter nears. But a nice little holy fire and a few heretics to burn will fix that.
Your gold vein is nearly exhausted. The not yet lost to reason evil had built a brewery. A delicious aroma spread through the dungeon. Delicious blaze beer was ready and waited only for the hand of terror to place it into the forgotten cellar below the cathedral.
Something is wrong. Feel it. Men, you must stop Talia. Take battle formation. Trebuchets to the fore. The archers take a break, and the cavalry dashes straight on in, just like we practiced.
Payday. Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Ah, my friend the Switcher. Welcome. I hope you didn't encounter too many monsters on your trip.
If it hadn't been the real Switcher, but rather that upstart who's supposed to replace him, I'd have crushed him.
One of the brewing evil's little snots had started producing beer. Henceforth, this delicious elixir would nourish high-level horde creatures.
Good things come in threes, my son. Look deep into the flames of the purifying fire, and behold the mercy our goddess bestows upon this unworthy life.
Yes, Father. If you say so.
A gold vein has been...
Don't be too modest now. Enjoy the show, and then we'll party on.
Now they're sending me my new subordinate by express mail. Hop to it, little snots. Get to resurrecting so that the creature can head back into battle.
Oi, what's that smell? Is someone brewing beer? Without letting me have any? That's downright insolent, that is. Off you go, lads. Go and get it. We're running low up here.
The delicious smell of hops, malt and barley had little chance of escaping an unerring dwarven nose. It was only a matter of time before those vertically challenged bearded so-and-sos would start digging into the dungeon.
Let them come. Off you go. Build traps, sharpen your weapons, and have Fairy Tale Throat Songs Part 3 at the ready. That way the pain won't stop at the face. It'll go all the way through to the ears.
It's payday. Your enemies are in the dungeon. Talia had freed a warg rider. It could do a great deal of damage to a single target and knock it to the ground.
Father, we could still make peace. I am absolutely certain.
Son, if you let one wolf live, the sheep will never be safe.
And that's a few more heroes I knocked off.
Oi, what have we got here? This is one ugly dungeon. That's not very nice. Don't even have an invitation. Come on, guys. Get rid of that lot, and then bring me the beer!
Keep your dirty hands off my beer. I need it for a... Go on. Knock them down. Flatten them. Shave off their beards.
The first barrel of blazed beer was deposited in the cathedral cellar. However, in order for this to have a reasonable explosive force, many more barrels would have to be stacked. Enemies are in the dungeon. The far-off kingdom of Vikander sent a troop to join Tanos's celebrations.
That awakens...
Talia and the dwarf rejecting evil had driven the dwarves from the underground. These would no longer cause any trouble.
And thankfully, they also left their supply of gold behind. Where Well, that's friendly. So much for the candor.
Manivores have been discovered in your dungeon. Manivores have been discovered in your dungeon. Ding dong! It's payday!
Celebrate, my friends! Celebrate as long as you can! For the night is dark and full of ticks. Or slugs. Oh, I don't know, but evil never sleeps!
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Didn't Thanos wipe out your village back in the day? Yeah, crazy times.
So now we've released all those champions from their cages. Time to blow up that party.
Son, you've had the prisoners eliminated. Ha! That's my boy.
Brewing beer takes forever. I thought we were in dungeons here, and not some boring empire building game where I spend 3 hours watching my settlers bake bread.
Indeed, brewing the beer turned out to be more than a little tedious. Fortunately, there was a welcome solution for the tech-addicted evil: magic batteries. These could be used in a work unit to power it magically for a short time.
Ooh, that sounds just like what I need. All right, go ahead. I've got my credit card ready. Do I get a gift basket if I buy several at once?
The teleshopping-tuned evil first had to further research the workshop and then build an infusomat. It immediately set about doing so.
wish I hadn't purified that
This
one.
barrel collecting thing is taking forever. Can't we just raid a brewery or something?
While there was no brewery nearby where one could steal barrels, there was a spell that could be used to create resources. The magic-addicted evil vaguely remembered having used this one before.
Really? Wow, that sounds super. Well then, let's get a move on. That should do the trick.
Talia, stop killing heroes!
But I'm on such a roll right now.
Huh. I'll just resurrect you later anyway. So there's no point anyway.
Well, it's definitely had a very positive effect on my mood.
It's good to be back among the living. Can you even begin to imagine lying there dead forever, just waiting to be resurrected?
Weren't you in the Hall of the Goddess, Father?
I can't exactly remember, but it was very, very warm where I was. I think that was the goddess's...
Jubilant supporters of the clearly good and legitimate King Halfrant were on their way to Tanos' feast. The beer-drinking evil needed a few more barrels of blazed beer to blow up the feast.
Your throne room is under attack.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Talia had once again kicked the bucket. The decaying evil had lost. It had probably consumed too much of the blazed beer itself. From that moment on, Tristan and Tanos will go down in the annals of heroes as the conquerors of Talia and the absolute evil. Payday. Your enemies are in the dungeon. Your Talia had freed a warg rider. It could do a great deal of damage to a single target and knock it to the ground.
So, do you remember anything else from back then?
So the last thing I remember is Tanos killing me.
Oi, what have we got here? This is one ugly dungeon. That's not very nice. Don't even have an invitation. Come on, guys. Get rid of that lot, and then bring me the beer!
Keep your dirty hands off my beer. I need it for a... Never mind. Go on, knock them down, flatten them, shave off their beards.
The first barrel of blazed beer was deposited in the cathedral cellar. However, in order for this to have a reasonable explosive force, many more barrels would have to be stacked here.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
The forest kingdom of Vikander sent a troop to join Tanos's celebrations.
That awakens the thrill-monger in me. We'll flatten them.
I wish I hadn't purified that one bard. The one with the gold and the wizard.
A gold vein is almost exhausted. Enemies are in the dungeon. Enemies are in the dungeon. Talia and the dwarf-resistant evil have driven the dwarves from the underground. These would no longer cause any trouble.
And thankfully, they also left their supply of gold behind. Well, that's friendly.
I can feel it in my bones. Winter nears. But a nice little holy fire and a few heretics to burn will fix that.
Creatures are collecting their pay.
So much for Vikander.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. The zealous evil had filled about a quarter of the cathedral cellar with blazed beer. With a broad grin, it got right back to work.
Somehow, I have a very strange feeling. Something is wrong here. Men, search the underground. My sister is plotting something somewhere down there.
A number of heroes headed into the underground to find out what Talia and the insidious evil were up to.
Brewing beer takes forever. I thought we were in dungeons here, and not some boring empire building game where I spend 3 hours watching my settlers bake bread.
Indeed, brewing the beer turned out to be more than a little tedious. Fortunately, there was a welcome solution for the tech-addicted evil: magic batteries. These could be used in a work unit to power it magically for a short time.
Ooh, that sounds just like what I need. All right, go ahead. I've got my credit card ready. Do I get a gift basket if I buy several at once?
The teleshopping-tuned evil first had to further research the workshop and then build an infusomat. It immediately set about doing so. Man-of-Wars have been
This barrel collecting thing is taking forever! Can't we just raid a brewery or something?
While there was no brewery nearby where one could steal barrels, there was a spell that could be used to create resources. The magic-addicted evil vaguely remembered having used this one before.
Really? Wow! That sounds super! Well then, let's get a move on. That should do the trick.
The first infusomat was ready to go. Now, all that remained was to craft a magic battery out of toolboxes and mana.
Oh, on you go, you lazy little snots. Get that stuff over here. If this keeps up, we won't have the beer done until Tanos's great-great-great-grandchildren are up there having a party.
One of your creatures has become livid with rage.
The beer-drinking evil needed a few more barrels of blazed beer to blow up the feast. Additional potential guests were on their way to the festivities.
One of your creatures has become livid with rage.
Talia and the party-crashing evil had intercepted the potential celebrants. The first magic battery had been completed. Now, all that was left was for it to be turned a few degrees to the north under a full moon on a clear night with a light westerly wind, and then for a one-armed Keluvati maiden to speak the magic formula over it while riding a horned wobble panther.
I beg your pardon?
Just a little joke on my part. All the magic-devouring evil had to do was toss the magic battery onto a brewing kettle to boost it.
And that's a few more heroes I knocked off. That would have been a nice assignment too.
Talia, do you have to do that? You're just ruining my party like you did my 13th birthday. I'm just going to resurrect all the heroes later anyway.
Another dead creature has been resurrected in the Horde laboratory. Payday.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
A gold vein is almost exhausted. Your little snots have completely mined out a gold vein.
So now we've released all those champions from their cages. Time to blow up that party.
Son, you've had the prisoners eliminated. Ha! That's my boy.
Didn't Tanos wipe out your village back in the day? Yeah, crazy times.
The cellar was now 3/4 full of blaze beer. A truly bombastic fireworks display seemed just a finger's breadth away.
Men, My sister has hatched an insidious plan. You must stop her. Forward!
Oh, that looks just terrific. There really seems to be some progress being made.
Magic batteries could be used on all work units that would normally be operated by a little snot. The curious evil planned to keep experimenting with that. Jubilant supporters of the clearly good and legitimate King Halfrant were on their way to Tanos's feast. The cellar below the cathedral was filled to bursting with blazed beer. Talia and the explosive evil went about setting off the fireworks with huge grins on their faces.
Oh, I can hardly wait. Time to push the big red button.
Fine dust indifferent evil had ignited a fulminant display of fireworks. The Cathedral of Light was now just a smoking crater, as was much of the city surrounding it. A large number of the heroes who had just celebrated their resurrection suddenly found themselves piles of ashes.
That was a great celebration. I like making an entrance with a bang. Yoo-hoo, Father, are you still there? Are you that sad little pile of ashes over there? Good. Good. Can I just sit out on my balcony and drink wine for the rest of the game?
But the news of Tanos's passing was premature. He and Tristan had survived the explosion.
Talia, you evil bitch. I knew you'd show up, but you won't get me that easily.
How the hell did you guys survive that?
Tristan and I were dancing on the table during the explosion. 100% solid oak. 30% off if you picked it up yourself. Who can say no to that?
Stupid brand name merchandise, but whatever. I'm actually rather happy. Your survival means that I can now kill you again!
Evil will never triumph over me. Well, at least not twice. Die, Talia!
Tanos's crusade against Talia. Talia had once again turned Tanos against her and aroused his holy fury. An epic battle was about to begin.